people, Tesla has been the brand to turn EVs from boring and uninteresting to fast and sexy. And while Tesla certainly wasn't the first company to promote the idea that electric vehicles could be more than just weird, quirky, round-town runabouts, nor indeed the first to promote the idea that you could have a long-range fast-charging EV that met or bettered the requirements of the average ICE car driver, it was certainly the company to cement that idea in the minds of a large swathe of the population. It was, after all, the original Tesla Roadster that first exposed many people to electric sports cars. And it was the success of the Tesla Roadster that helped Tesla build the investment and backing it needed to bring Tesla's Model S to market. And the rest? The rest is history. But in 2006, long before Tesla became an internationally recognized automotive brand, and before Elon Musk officially became Tesla's CEO, a document written by Elon Musk was published to Tesla's blog, a document which has become something of a legend in Tesla's history, his Master Plan Part 1. Or more accurately, as Musk wrote in the blog, quote, "The secret Tesla Motors Master Plan, just between you and me." End quote. It helped investors understand what Tesla's goals were. It helped Tesla's customers have faith that the company planned to exist longer than just a few thousand very expensive sports cars. And it formed the foundation for Tesla's future. And it was followed in 2016 by Master Plan Part Deux, which expanded on the first part and laid a future for the company beyond the basics. Then, just last year, the third part of the Master Plan was released in the form of a massive 41-page PDF file. But this week, as Forbes and others noted, Tesla quietly removed the first two parts of its master plan from its website, along with every blog post made before 2019. They're all gone. So just why have these posts vanished? What's changed? Is it just a matter of a web upgrade and removal of older posts, or is it something else? Let's find out. In today's video, I will be discussing some of the earlier moments in Tesla's history and will, in as succinct a way as possible, explain what was in Tesla's master plan, Part 1 and 2. I'll ask if Tesla has managed to achieve everything it set out to do in those first two parts, and then I'll ask if there are any reasons why Tesla, or rather Elon Musk, may have decided to remove those earlier posts from Tesla's blog, or rather the English language part of Tesla's blog. Because I've spent some time looking, and while some news outlets have reported that Tesla's blog is now missing all blog posts before 2019, including the first two parts of the master plan, and the equally famous "All Our Patents Are Belong to You" post of 2014, I've been doing some link surfing late at night and discovered that all of the posts are still available, both in the Wayback Machine as operated by the Internet Archive, and also today, right now, as of the time of recording this, on Tesla's Chinese variant of its website, or rather on tesla.com/CN, the CN standing for China. But head to Tesla's Chinese blog page now using the syntax that Tesla's site now uses, and again, the earliest blog you can spy comes from 2019, just like the rest of Tesla's country-specific pages. I'm going to come to some of the potential reasons for these pages' sudden disappearance, ranging from benign to something more sinister later on, but first let's remind ourselves of what's parts 1 and 2 of Tesla's current 3-part master plan actually laid out. And to do that, let's remind ourselves of where Tesla was 18 years ago. In 2006, which, by the way, was actually the year I started driving EVs, Tesla's original founders, Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpenning, were at Tesla, and Elon Musk, who had led Tesla's A and B round funding and co-led its C round funding, had yet to be appointed as CEO. Eberhard and Tarpenning stayed at Tesla until 2008, with Eberhard ousted from his position as CEO in 2007 by the board of directors, as led by Elon Musk. While Elon Musk wouldn't become CEO of Tesla until late in 2008, And there was an eventual lengthy court battle in which Elon Musk's counsel argued he had the right to be called a Tesla co-founder. He won. The secret Tesla Motors master plan, just between you and me, came at a time where Tesla and Elon Musk were looking for credibility in the automotive industry. The crushing of the GM EV1 and Toyota RAV4 EV was still very much in people's minds. And Who Killed the Electric Car? Chris Payne's excellent documentary on the very same topic would debut in June of that year. A fired-up, dedicated group of EV fans were looking for their next EV, and legacy automakers, after the debacle of crushing perfectly functioning EVs, well, they were no longer trusted. Tesla's Part 1 master plan was simple. Build a fast sports car with impressive specs to get people interested in EVs. This halo model, while expensive, would then fund the production of Tesla's first mass-produced EV, a full-size sedan with equally impressive specs and a comparably lower sticker price when compared to the previous sports car. Following on from that, Part 1 said the first mass-produced EV would then fund the production of a more affordable, even higher volume car. It also proposed making renewable energy generation options available for customers for them to charge their EV with. And it was an incredibly simple plan, and while Tesla went through some really difficult times in its early days, to the point that some journalists had death watches on for the company, it managed to follow through with its plan. The Roadster begat the Model S, which begat the Model 3. And yes, while Model S was followed by Model X, it's also worth remembering that Model S and X share a platform just as Model 3 and Model Y share a platform. I would argue that Part 1's plan of making a really affordable EV never truly materialised, but I also know that many people in the comments will argue with fire and brimstone that I am terrible and going to hell for suggesting such a thing. So instead, I'm just going to acknowledge that while Tesla's Model 3 is now certainly less expensive than the average new car selling price in the US, Tesla's more expensive models, not to mention a trend in the industry overall towards more expensive cars, has played a part in that pricing shift. And honestly, I still don't see a cheaper, more affordable EV yet from Tesla, and I personally believe neither Tesla nor Elon Musk is interested in making that a reality anytime soon, but that's just my personal opinion. Regarding Part 1, Tesla did follow through on its energy production goal, working first with Solar City before then acquiring it in 2016, which was, coincidentally, about the same time as Tesla published Master Plan Part 2. Longer and more complicated than the original, it set out loftier goals and, in the words of several folks at the time, was less focused than Part 1 was. It, in a nutshell, set out to integrate energy generation and storage, expand Tesla's scope to cover the, quote, major forms of terrestrial transport, end quote, develop autonomous vehicles, and ultimately flip the switch to make those autonomous vehicles revenue streams for individual owners. 8 years later, and Tesla's master plan is not looking as finished as the first part was. Tesla does have generation and storage options, and its Powerwalls are becoming a standard add-on for any Tesla customer who wants to charge their vehicle from clean solar energy generated on the roof of their home. But Tesla's goals of turning its vehicles into robotaxis? Not so much, not yet at least, and now with Tesla planning its own robotaxi that should be getting revealed in October, I'm not sure if Tesla is still on board with the share your car with other people when you're not using it plan. And based on many Tesla owners I've talked to, a large proportion of Tesla owners don't want that either. Part talks about when true self-driving is approved by regulators, end quote, and right now, that also seems like a pipe dream. Most countries aren't anywhere near approving fully autonomous level 5 cars outside of carefully curated special operational zones, and frankly, Tesla isn't anywhere near level 5 autonomy yet. No mainstream automaker is. Sorry. Even level 3 automation is, frankly, hard. If a child or a deer steps out in front of your car late at night, you are still, frankly, the one reaching for the brake pedal. In short, Tesla's Part 2 isn't yet anywhere near completed, and with 2 years left, if we assume a 10-year cycle for each plan, there's still a lot for Tesla to do. Part 3? Part 3 really deserves a whole video to itself, and it's still available on Tesla's website, so I'm not going to go in depth into what's included. Suffice to say, while noble in its goals to make the whole planet's energy needs met by green power, it's still a long way from execution. Tesla's latest plan also includes switching as much of the world's energy needs to renewable power as possible, switching the majority of vehicles to electric propulsion, and, where not possible, sustainable fuels for things like planes and boats. Meanwhile, green hydrogen is proposed for industry. On paper, it's plausible, possible even, but it's unlikely to become a reality anytime soon, partly because of the scale of the investment and cooperation required, and as I'm about to explain, Tesla seems to have drifted a little from its goals, with both Tesla and Elon Musk now more focused on AI and robotics than anything else. Which brings me to the other things that are now missing. The post about Tesla's autopilot revisions and hardware in its cars, some of which appear to have been removed due to court cases against Tesla over autopilot and FSD. The posts about Tesla's patents have also vanished, and given the big asks of that post, which many legal experts interpreted as too onerous to actually implement in any meaningful way that would have allowed other automakers to keep their own IP, I'm not surprised. Why keep up a post that didn't lead to much in the way of cooperation for Tesla? In fact, the only cooperation of note we've seen from that was the transition to NACS, which, as we predicted months ago, has actually taken far longer than either Tesla or other automakers promised, and has been plagued with headaches. And, of course, it's also not solved public EV charging yet. So why have these posts vanished? The Occam's razor here is that there was some server tech change at Tesla and older posts weren't transferred over due to cost concerns or time constraints. That would be the most plausible explanation in most situations. I mean, when we were hacked by someone who left nasty messages on our server telling us not to be mean to Tesla and it took us months to recover our data, we ultimately gave up and decided to not bother transferring old blog posts over to our new server. But then we're also a small 4-person team rather than a large multinational company with a dedicated web team. Still, it is conceivable servers have moved and data has been left behind, and I would not be doing my job if I didn't promote a server change as a possible reason for this. Tesla has, after all, just sworn off California entirely, and maybe Tesla has just flipped a switch to transfer its servers from California to Texas and opted to ignore older content that didn't represent the brand. But if that were the case, the pages I found on Tesla's Chinese server wouldn't be there. If they were a ghost in the shell, I would expect them to disappear after a few days when the cache expired, which they haven't yet. And I think it's more likely that those posts sit on a Chinese server because Chinese government, and for some reason they've not been purged because someone outside of China hasn't got access to that server to purge them yet. Sadly, though, in this situation, I feel there is a different explanation. Elon Musk's current political leanings and his courting of Donald Trump as Republican presidential nominee. In the recent event streamed on X where Trump and Musk talked, or rather, in which Trump said stuff and Musk let him, there was a lot said about policies moving forwards. During that event, Musk reiterated something he had stated last year when speaking at a right-wing political gathering in Italy, that we shouldn't demonise or vilify the oil and gas industry. He actually suggested that the world economy would collapse if oil and gas firms are forced to shut down during this X event, and also said that while the planet can transition to sustainable energy, it's going to take 50 to 100 years to achieve. That is very different from the optimism of the first 2 parts of Tesla's master plan, and in fact the third part, which is different because it calls for external investment rather than internal investment from Tesla. And part 3 does still seem to align a little closer with Musk's current timelines. But it's also worth noting that during that event on X, Elon Musk didn't correct Donald Trump when Trump incorrectly stated that humanity has 500 to 1,000 years to transition to a sustainable energy future. And Musk himself conflated safe inside carbon dioxide concentrations with outside CO2 levels in the air, which led him to suggest we have a long time before the air outside is unsafe for humans to breathe. All of that while simultaneously fighting against Democratic candidates who are pushing for a sustainable and more equitable future seems to be the crux of this particular deletion of Tesla's past blog posts. Why keep blog posts calling for a far more rapid transition to electric vehicles and clean energy when the person who originally penned them now says we shouldn't vilify the oil and gas industry? Priorities change, and Tesla's have because Elon Musk's have. Some might even suggest that Tesla's push towards high air filtration in its vehicles and apocalypse-ready Cybertrucks lean heavily into a dystopian future rather than a utopian one. More Blade Runner and less solar punk. And yes, while we would have loved to have reached out to ask for comment, Tesla no longer has a press department and doesn't actually respond to email inquiries other than to respond with a poop emoji as a matter of course. And given Elon Musk is known for banning people who ask tough questions on X, even though you can't block his tweets from appearing on your timeline, I think we all know how likely it is that we'd actually get a real response explaining what's going on. And I'm sorry, that means I don't know for sure why those posts disappeared. We don't know what will happen moving forwards, but it's fair to say that those posts are from a Tesla that doesn't exist anymore. And regardless of whether it was to streamline Tesla's site or to avoid embarrassment for Elon Musk from potential new investors or perhaps even government jobs, as Donald Trump has hinted multiple times, there is one thing that I can say for sure. Capitalism is gonna make its money, and stuff that it fears will cause it not to make money or not to look good will go away very quickly. Thanks for joining me today, and if you've got thoughts, make sure you leave them in our Discord chat room, our Patreon page, our YouTube comment section, or you can reach out to us on Mastodon. Thanks to the amazing list of people scrolling by on your screen right now. They are some of the more than 1,500 people who help make this channel possible through Patreon and YouTube, covering our bills, paying our team, and making sure that we can remain 100% independent. If you'd like to join them and see your name listed here, just follow the links below. There are a range of different tiers you can sign up for from as little as $1 a month, or if you pay yearly, around $10.08 a year. A massive welcome to our newest supporters, Bree Crockford, CAP, Christian Balal, Everything on a Bi-Bagel, Pidge Eon, and Brett Chandler. To join the list and get your shout-out, become a paid Patreon member for your moment of fame. If you'd like to support us with a one-off donation, you'll find links below for Ko-fi and Bitcoin donations, and we even have a good old-fashioned P.O. box you can reach us at, the address for which you'll also find below. And if you're in need of some swag, do check out our swag store in the down below. We've got some fantastic content coming right up, so make sure you're subscribed on PeerTube or YouTube, and we'll see you soon. As a reminder, we make new videos every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. If you want more, the almighty algorithm thinks you might enjoy this video, but what does it know? We think this one is also well worth a look. See you soon, and as always, keep evolving.